Hello world, in this video we'll be building out this simple UI using a custom tab bar with a nice smooth animation of that little bar that kind of follows where the user taps. To achieve this we'll be using a tab view and we'll be using matched geometry. So go ahead and open up Xcode and let's get started. So we'll go ahead and create a new project, and from there we'll go ahead and pick iOS and app. Next, we'll go ahead and keep our interface, language, and storage unchanged, and we'll go ahead and name our app something amazing. Now we're presented with the default window you get when you create an Xcode iOS project. We'll come back to the content view in a bit, but first we want to get started creating a couple of files. So go ahead and press Command N on your keyboard and pick SwiftUI view. When you press next, we'll go ahead and create 8 different files. The first one will be book info view, and then we'll have book info buttons view. We'll then create the horizontal button view. Next, tab selection view, and then we'll create the discussion list view and discussion list row view, as well as a discussion list navigation link view. And last, a discussion list avatars view. That's all the views we'll need, and again we'll create these using the SwiftUI view template. So our project should look like this. So let's go ahead and jump into our first file, and that will be the horizontal buttons view. In here we'll go ahead and create a struct horizontal buttons view, which conforms to view. We're going to go ahead and create a label, which will pass in whenever we create this button. We're also going to create a has stroke boolean, so this will allow us to modify the button slightly based on what we pass in. Next, we'll go ahead and create an action, and this will give us a closure as the last argument when we create our views elsewhere, so we can run some code when the button is tapped. We'll go ahead and create our body property. We'll create our button, and this takes in that action that will again be able to run some code. Then we'll create our label for our button, and we'll go ahead and set a few modifiers here, such as font weight. And for the foreground style, this is going to depend on that has stroke boolean operation. So this is just a ternary operator, which is shorthand for if statement. We'll go ahead and add some padding, and we'll go ahead and close up that button. Last, we'll go ahead and put a background, and this will be a Z stack where we put a capsule shape. And then we're going to set the foreground style of this. Again, this is going to have the has stroke. So it could be clear if it has stroke. Otherwise, we're going to set it to primary. We'll go ahead and create this conditional statement to conditionally add our stroke to the view. Go ahead and close that up and go ahead and go to our next file, which will be our book info buttons view. Again, we'll create a structure that conforms to view. We'll create a body property. This time we won't take any parameters, and we'll create an H stack. Here we'll go ahead and create some buttons. And with this line, we're creating that horizontal button view we just created, and we're passing in a label, and we're passing in the has stroke boolean property. Here we just have it commented out in our closure, but this is where we would run some kind of code based on the button tab. Obviously, saying sample here, I'm assuming we would present some sort of reading view for the book. We'll go ahead and create another button. We'll go ahead and set a primary foreground style for all the views in the H stack, and we'll set a vertical padding. We'll go ahead and close the body property and close the view and move on to our next. So here's our book info view. In here, again, it's a struct conforming to view. Again, we have a body property, and again, we're going to use an H stack. This time we'll specify alignment. We'll go ahead and create an image. This .book cover is just an image we have in our assets folder. The nice dot syntax comes with Xcode 15, allowing us to not use strings for our assets. We'll go ahead and make sure this is resizable, and we'll set the aspect ratio to fit. We set the frame width to a 120. We'll add the padding just on the leading side, and then we're going to go ahead and add a V-stack, again specifying the alignment, and we're going to go ahead and add the book title, specify the font, and we're going to go ahead and set the author, and again specify the font. Next, we'll go ahead and put that info button view that we created earlier. Go ahead and close that up. Go ahead and add a spacer. Go ahead and close up our H stack, set our padding to vertical, close up our body property and our struct. And then we're ready to go ahead and create the next view. This is our tab selection view. A couple of properties we're going to get right off the top are going to be a binding to that tab selection, which we'll create in our content view. We're also going to use a namespace, and this allows us to use the match geometry, which we'll get into here in just a moment. And then we're also going to just create a private constant, which will be just an array of strings, and we're going to use that to iterate through on our for each so that we can create our buttons. So let's go ahead and go into that H stack. And here we just set a vertical stack, and we're using the index to get the button title. And then the action is going to have a with animation where we set the tab selection to the current index they tap on. And with our foreground modifier, we change the color based on our index so that we can focus a little bit more on the button that they've tapped on, and the other buttons kind of gray out a little bit. Then we have a conditional statement, and this is to either add the capsule below the button or have no view below the button. I did add an empty view with a frame height of 4, and that made it so that the buttons didn't kind of like jump up and down vertically, because when there's no view there, there's no space getting taken up and they would move around. So this just made things look a little less wobbly. And then we go ahead and just add a spacer to our H stack to kind of push everything to the leading edge, and that wraps up that view. Next, we have the discussion list view. This one's pretty simple. It's a simple struct conforming to view, and inside the body property, we just have a list. And inside this list, we're just creating a range of numbers. Obviously, in a real app, you'd be going over some actual collection. In this one, I'm just using some mock data. And then we have discussion list row view for each time it loops through. Go ahead and close up the for each. Go ahead and close up the list. And we'll just set the list style to plain. We'll then close up the body property and close up the struct. Nice simple view. Next is discussion list row view. We'll go ahead and do basically what we've been doing before. We'll go ahead and create the body property. This one will be a V stack, and inside of our V stack we'll have a H stack. Then we'll go ahead and set some text. Again, this is hard coded, not what we would be doing in a real app, but this is just an additional view to add to make the app look a little more complete. We'll go ahead and add a spacer. We'll add a label and give it a font of subheadline. Side note, label, by the way, takes in a string parameter and a system image. So this is just easier than doing like an H stack and adding an image and a label together. We'll go ahead and add a foreground color to primary. We'll go ahead and start closing off our H stack, and then we'll add the discussion list navigation link, which we'll create shortly. And then we're going to go ahead and add some vertical padding. We'll go ahead and hide the separator rows, which I think just makes this particular list look a little cleaner. And then we'll go ahead and close up our body property, close up our struct, and create that discussion list navigation link view. This one's going to be a Z stack, and the first view, so the view that's going to be behind everything, is going to be an uneven rounded rectangle. And this just allows us to control each corner. So the top leading corner is going to have a radius of 12. The bottom trailing is going to be 12 as well. This is, of course, up to your personal taste, and you can add in the top trailing and the bottom leading as well. We'll go ahead and set the foreground style to color.systemGray4, and that's important because we'll be using that same color in the avatar view so that they match. We'll go ahead and add our navigation link next, and this destination is just to a text view. Obviously we would add a detail view at this point, but just simple for now. We'll set an H stack. Inside of our H stack, we'll go ahead and add a circle. And again, we're adding some additional text like 42 new posts. So obviously we'd be going to like a message thread view when we tapped on this navigation link. We'll add a spacer, and then we'll add our discussion list avatars view, and that's where we'll have the 3 little circles. I just use circles, but we'd probably use an image and then a clip shape to mask them into a circle. We'll go ahead and add some padding on the trailing side, and this just pushes the little chevron in the navigation link over a touch, so it's not like sitting right against the edge. We'll go ahead and close up our body property and our struct, and go ahead and create the next view, which will be discussion list avatars view. Again, just a struct conforming to view with a body property. And again, we'll be using a Z stack. And this just allows us to stack some circles on top of each other and then use an offset to just nudge them to the trailing edge. And this is, of course, where we also use the stroke color of system gray 4, which just kind of blends things in nicely. And we'll go ahead and just create 2 more circles with pretty much the same modifiers, minus they'll have different colors. And we're going to use an offset on them to kind of, again, push them over. And then we'll go back to our content view, and it currently looks like this. We're going to go ahead and change it to look like this. This is where we create our state property for tab selection, which we set to 0. And the tab selection is used in the .tag modifiers underneath the discussion list view and the 2 text views. And you can see this view is pretty simple. We've just composed other views we've already built out, and we've passed in a few bindings. You will notice the tab view has a tab view style modifier, and this is set to .page, and the index display mode is .never. So that just means we're not going to see those little dots you might see on like an onboarding screen. And that is it for this tutorial. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. Do let me know in the comments how this video turned out. I am trying to kind of make some more polished videos, and this is a different approach than I usually take. So I feel like there's some things I could do to improve it, but I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.